On behalf of the University, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you to this congregation here in our Barony Hall. Graduations are the highlight of the academic year. They're a day of celebration for our graduates and for all the family and friends and for the staff of the University. And we're very pleased that we're now able to hold in-person graduations after a gap of 2 years. And we're delighted that our graduates have returned to the University to have the opportunity to walk across the stage and have their achievements recognised in front of their family and friends. Now, in a few moments, it'll be my privilege to cap each of our graduates as their name is called out and they come up on stage. They will stand before me and I will place the graduation cap above their head, thereby conferring their degree. The capping tradition has its roots in ancient China, and it's recognised as a rite of passage and as a mark of achievement. And for each of our graduates, once they're capped, they're now part of a community of scholars at the University of Strathclyde that can stretch back over 200 years to the Scottish Enlightenment. So they're in very good company. At the close of graduation, we have a reception in a nearby learning and teaching building to which everyone is invited to come along and have some refreshments. We also intend to have an academic procession from the Barony to the learning and teaching building, and it normally depends upon the weather, but I think today it's fairly safe to say that we'll be able to have that academic procession and our graduates will join it. So I do hope that you enjoy the ceremony, and when you see your loved one come on stage to receive their award, I would strongly encourage you to celebrate. We've waited a long time for this, and these occasions only come round once in a lifetime, so please make the most of it. I now formally declare that this congregation is open, and I invite Dr. Kepa Mendable, Associate Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, to present our graduates to receive their awards. Thank you.
Vice Principal, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Design, Manufacturing and Engineering Management, Colin Edward Andrews. Daniel Anthony McHenry. Isimeme Osagie. Scott Brady. Hani Maji Ajat Hana. Yota Paparistodimou. Trevon Wong. For research in the Department of Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, Mihail Franciscus Kelotis. Donald MacLeod Patterson. Shui Shu. Mitchell Gareth Borg. Khalid Mohammed Ibrahim Mohammed El Sherbini. Christos Gerikos. Enjin Liu. Enas Zakaria Shafik Masood. Alexandros Thriftis. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Manufacturing Technology and Systems, William Spence Farrell. Ross David Jameson. Oliver Anthony Jackson Levine. Stuart Reed. Ewan Daniel Slane. In Engineering Management for Process Excellence, Mustafa Munir Kamel Hassan Ismail. Liam Patrick McLaughlin. In Mechatronics and Automation, Andrew Donald Luliger. Lenny Techie. Charles Angus Bruce Walker. In Supply Chain and Sustainability Management, Mette Ruhlmann Poulsen. In Systems Engineering Management, Farouk Ahmad. In Marine Engineering, Angus Michael Leslie. In Offshore Floating Systems, Augustin Aidore. In Ship and Offshore Structures, Rebecca Jean Moore. In Subsea and Pipeline Engineering, Aisha Halil Almash. Owen Inger Gray. In SICAC, Maurice Marcus. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Product Design Engineering, Karina Kirsty Aitken. Marian Abud Al-Hamadani. Jack Anderson. Anna Jasmine Beatty. Alistair Robert Beatty. Caterina Campersano. Rudy John Mason Cullen. John Michael Dara. Johnny Dix. Craig Fingland. Craig Garvey. Peter Callum Alan Gilmore. Louis Peter Glenn. Jack Alexander Graham. Ellen Sinead Harper. Curtis Scott Roland Haynes. Anna Irvine. Rebecca Johnston. Emily Rose Kerr. Sam Adam Lane. Emma Ann Laurie. Ewan Martin. Christopher Jean Marshall McAdam. Stig MacArthur. Adam Jamie Morrison. Ryan Muir. Andrew Alexander James Orr. Eleanor Louise Roberts. Emily Mary Robinson. Nathalie Francis Seagrave. Jack Ronald Smart. Duncan Charles Smith. Finley Taggart. Hannah Taylor. Rebecca Jessica Taylor. Serena Todd. Zara Urreman. Rory Douglas Watson. Christopher West. In production engineering and management, Andrew Cowden. Daniel Lopez Rae. Greg Pollock. In sports engineering, Rosemary Anderson. Ewan Scott Brenner. Loda Davidson. Rhiannon Emma Caldwell. Stephen David Edgar. Rachel Jennifer Fraser. Edward Hart. Kieran Laley. Jamie McLaren. Mia Isabel Shepherd. In naval architecture and marine engineering, Matthew James Croshaw. Kritonas Dionisiou. Flynn Johnston Hay. Ioannis Kokonas. Nikolaos Kochothontis. Konstantinos Miliolis. Anastasios Theoharis Moraitis. Markela Picconi. Victoria Sykes. Dimitrios Chevgos. Ilya Krasimirov Valchev. In naval architecture with high-performance marine vehicles, Andrew David Bell. John Coverts Drummond. Ben Keegan O'Keefe. Joshua Malcolm McLaughlin. Ryan Alexander Miller. Katarina Pratriniak. Matej Pinkus. Anna Jacqueline Pintus. In naval architecture with ocean engineering, Raimondo Pasquale Esposito. Nathan Evans. Catalina Georgiana Franco. Sebastian Folger. Alana Gray. Grace Heyman. Mark McLaughlin. Adam John Orr. Frankie Alicia Radcliffe. Ruth Waters. For the Master in Science in Product Design and Innovation, Sean Brugstens. Daniel Byrne. Hannah Elizabeth Clark. Lisa Lamara. Hannah McKiernan. Alex McMullen. Laura Elizabeth Chiara Petri. Todd David James Robertson. Dominic Romanchak. Sabrina Sasso. Chi Yong Trong. Jade Wood. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Product Design Engineering, Holly Davey. Jennifer MacLeod. Stuart Kelly. Jonathan David MacDonald. Callum McDougall. Gabriel McEwen. Andrea Rochlin Patterson. Aidan George Fred Potter. Lauren Gilbride. In Production Engineering and Management, Rebecca Mayer. Elliot Spence. In Sports Engineering, Sean Rose Bingham. Emily Marjorie Margaret Glanville. Jamie Amrani. Joanna Newmer. Deborah Ann Presley. Lauren Mulleton. In Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, Ioannis Cornelius. Khalid Said Mana Al-Kalbani. Antonios Estavrianos. Halfan Ahmed Al-Hadem. In Naval Architecture with High-Performance Marine Vehicles, Joseph Crawford Griffiths. In Naval Architecture with Ocean Engineering, Nabil Imad bin Azman. Logan Blair Clark. Charlotte Hannah Mackay. Daniel Kieran Brophy. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Product Design and Innovation, Fraser Glenn Ayton. Joseph Andrew Brammer. Rose Gabriel Marius Brock. Lisa Dunbar. Matthew James Dunn. Hazel Sophie Howard. Jack James Liddell. Kieran James McCracken. Angus Ian McCarthy. Alana Molly O'Flynn. Yi Chin Joshua Sheck. Craig Robinson Smith. Ross Thomas Wiley. Lindsay Crawford. Caitlin Donnelly. Claudia Elsbeth Halliday. Paul Mark Hamill. Gabriel Joy Henderson. Jennifer Erin McCluskey. Nicole Mitchell. Luke John Gerald Palmer. Courtney Waringa. Ryan Michael Toner. For the degree of Master of Science in Supply Chain and Procurement Management, Vincent Emoji Shokari.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and most of all, Strathclyde graduates, it is my pleasure to once again welcome you to this congregation, a somewhat unusual one because you've already received your degrees. However, the university was determined to offer all of our graduates the opportunity to cross this stage and celebrate your achievements in front of your families, friends, and supporters. You have earned this opportunity through all your hard work, and you fully deserve it. Let's give our graduates a big round of applause. Now, in a short while, you'll be asked to join the academic procession as this leaves the Barony Hall. This invitation symbolises the fact that you are now full members of the academic community of Strathclyde, a worldwide community that numbers over 180,000 individuals. You now join such esteemed company as David Livingstone, the missionary and explorer, John Logie Baird, who invented television, Dame Eilish Angelini, Scotland's first female Solicitor General and Lord Advocate, Helen Liddell and Baroness Annabel Goldie, leading Scottish politicians, and the entrepreneur and philanthropist Sir Tom Hunter. Now today, we are celebrating your achievements and recognise the unique challenges brought about by the coronavirus pandemic. The pandemic has changed our health systems, it's impacted on our economies, and it's changed the way we work and study. However, it has also demonstrated what society can achieve when we work together, and it has placed science at the forefront of finding the solution to the challenges we face. It was science and universities that delivered the vaccines for COVID-19 virus in record time, and it is science, engineering, and education that will help us address other pressing issues such as climate change. In November last year, Glasgow hosted COP26, the summit of world leaders who came together to agree measures to minimise global warming and climate change. As a university community, we are very much aware of our responsibilities to reducing our impact on the planet, which is why we've set a target to reduce our carbon emissions by 70% by 2025 and to reach net zero by 2040. COP26 also saw former US President Barack Obama visit Strathclyde to speak with our students about the important role that young people will play in tackling climate change. The former president had a simple but powerful message for those who had gathered outside our new learning and teaching building. Pausing on the steps, he said to everyone to get active. Now, to our graduates who are celebrating today, each of you will have benefited from the active support of your family, friends and supporters, and academically through your lecturers, tutors and supervisors. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears as you each in turn cross the stage to receive your award. I would now like to invite all of our graduates to show their appreciation for all the support that they have received from their family, friends and supporters. Your success, and in turn our success as a university, is in no small part due to the efforts of our staff, who are delivering our vision as a leading international technological university that is socially progressive. And you can tell a lot about the values of an organisation simply by looking at its roots. Strathclyde University traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being, the only Scottish university founded during the Age of Enlightenment, and embodying the Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance and equality. Anderson's belief in useful learning and his commitment to taking knowledge and using this for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde University its momentum today. Anderson believed in knowledge for the greater good and education for all, what we would call widening access and participation. Strathclyde University is at the forefront of widening access to higher education by welcoming those with the ability to learn, regardless of their personal circumstances. And 20% of our new students each year come from the most challenging areas of the country. Our ethos of useful learning continues to be relevant today as we seek new knowledge that we can readily apply to global challenges. We are a research-intensive university determined to make a positive difference to the lives of our students, to society, and to the world. Through our groundbreaking research, we are helping to change the world for the better. Through our scientists and engineers, we are leading the development of innovative technologies that will facilitate the transition from fossil fuels to clean, sustainable energy sources, such as wind, solar, geothermal, and hydrogen. We are developing new drugs along with new manufacturing processes that will provide cheaper, more effective treatments in the fight against cancer, kidney disease and inflammatory disease, whilst also supporting our health services to face the challenges of health and social care and the changing demographics of the 21st century. Through our focus on entrepreneurial education, we are helping our students and staff to create new sustainable businesses, as well as supporting economic growth. We are growing Scotland's manufacturing capabilities in the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation District Scotland out at Glasgow Airport, where the National Manufacturing Institute Scotland facility, hosted by Strathclyde, is under construction. Our globally minded students and staff are also working in sustainable development and helping to address some of the inequalities in India, Malawi, the Gambia, and by establishing clean water supplies, renewable power sources, and healthcare facilities. We also understand the value of working in partnership as we extend our global reach with other leading universities, such as Stanford, MIT, Caltech, Nanyang Technological University, and the National University of Singapore. As a university, we are continually working to enhance our student experience, investing in our campus, as evidenced by the new Strathclyde Sports Building and the new Learning and Teaching Building. And we are investing in student mental health and wellbeing support services, placing our students at the heart of everything that we do. Our progress in these areas has been recognised in recent years, and we are the only UK university to win the Times Higher University of the Year twice, having won this accolade again in 2019. And in February of this year, we received our third Queen's Anniversary Award for our leadership in advanced manufacturing. In recent times, we've also been named the Times Higher Business School of the Year, Workplace of the Year, and Research Project of the Year. And earlier this year, the Times placed Strathclyde University 5th in the UK for student satisfaction out of 150 institutions. Researchers at Strathclyde are developing highly effective treatments for tumours which are resistant to other forms of radiation, using high-powered lasers to generate beams of carbon ions with the ability to target cancerous cells. Strathclyde engineers have secured funding from the UK Space Agency to address the problems created by space debris, which is a significant global challenge facing the space sector. There are currently an estimated 330 million pieces of space debris orbiting the Earth. And Professor Martin Dawson, Director of Research at Strathclyde Institute of Photonics, has been named the 2021 winner of the Global SSL Award of Outstanding Achievement for his contributions to the field of micro-LEDs. And Professor Gareth Pearce of Electronic and Electrical Engineering has been awarded the Royal Academy of Engineering Research Chair to support his Aerosystems research of in-process non-destructing testing for composites. And researchers in the Strathclyde Institute for Energy and Environment have recently published a technology blueprint for policymakers to help decarbonise the UK energy system and support the transition to net zero. Now, these are just some of the many contributions being made by our students and their staff. And Strathclyde has been increasingly recognised as a place where things happen, and this is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies and organisations looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. Our success is in no small part due to the collective efforts, talent and commitment of our staff, the 4,000 colleagues who deliver our vision as a leading international technological university, and like me, they are very proud of your achievements. All of our students learn how to be innovative, enterprising and creative, and they can make a real difference when they go out into the workplace. So wherever your career takes you, always remember that as a Strathclyde graduate, useful learning carries with it responsibilities that go beyond academic scholarship. And finally, let me offer my sincerest congratulations to you all once again on your achievements, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of what is a very special day. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal part of this afternoon's proceedings, which I hope you have enjoyed and that you'll take away very many happy memories. I would remind you that we now have a reception in our Lord Todd building, sorry, not our Lord Todd building, our new Learning and Teaching building, to which everyone is invited to come along. And I can see that the weather is, well, what we would say, the sun is splitting the trees, so it's good enough for us to have an academic procession, and I'll invite all our graduates to join that procession. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to remain in the hall until the academic procession passes and then immediately follows over to the Learning and Teaching building, and we shall have some refreshments there. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is closed. Please be upstanding.